Hi, welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. I'm really excited for Boost My Build episode 2. If you didn't see the last one, this is all about users submitting builds, and I'm going to go through and we're going to work together and we're going to boost them up. We're going to make sure that they have better price or performance. We're going to cut the budget down. We're going to make sure that they're hitting the performance benchmarks that they're looking for. Let's kick off with more of a budget build. I feel like last time we did a number of higher end builds. Let's do a budget gaming build. We're going to pull off the same list of folks who submitted from last time. I feel like there was so many I wasn't able to get to. We're going to start off with Zoo777. They want to use this for gaming, editing. I'm assuming that means video editing as well as streaming. Please check it out, guys. My budget is $1,500. Okay, Zeus, let's see what you got here. Right off the bat, I see that we're $400 over budget. Now, PC Part Picker is just filling in these prices automatically, right? Based on today's availability. And it is filling in the price for your graphics card, which you have an RTX 3060 for $1,000. And that's not, unfortunately, an unreasonable price for a 3060 in this market. If you don't get it off Newegg, Shuffle, or if you don't get it off a Discord drop, if you have to buy it from a third-party reseller, i.e. a scalper, right? These folks on Amazon who are third-party sellers, they're basically scalpers. Let's just be honest. But I'm not going to judge because we've been in this nonsense for so long that it's not up to consumers to fight this anymore, especially if we're been abandoned by everybody else who actually has some power here. So let's go ahead and assume that we're going to spend about $1,000 on the GPU, though I think we could probably get a little cheaper. So right off the bat, what do I see? I see that we're trying to do too much with this build for the budget. If we had more budget, we could do what you're trying to do. You're trying to get a really cool looking streaming rig, and you're trying to stream, and you're trying to hit a low end budget. Those three things just aren't going to come together for you, at least not in this particular market. So what do I recommend? Let's strip out the aesthetics, because you said you want to play games and you want to stream it to the web. Let's make that our number one priority. So we're going to get rid of the aesthetics. For instance, the Lee & Galahad AIO 360, total overkill, beautiful looking cooler. Don't get me wrong, it's a great performer, but we're going to get rid of this. And frankly, for right now, let's just assume we're going to go with this stock air cooler. We might change that in just a moment. I'll tell you though, I don't even think we're going to be able to afford a 5600X, just looking at how much ground we have to clear. Let's go ahead and downgrade this to a Ryzen 3600X to start with. This is what you have to do sometimes. You got to take a step back from your build. Now, could you go with a 10400, 11400? Sure. You know, some of the motherboard platforms, I'm just not a big fan of the B560 motherboards, I'll be honest. I'd rather go with Ryzen. It gets you a better path to the future. If you wanted to drop in, say, like a 5900X or even a 5800X 3 or 4 years from now, you'd be able to do that here. I know I tell people all the time, don't buy into upgrade paths, but this actually does give you one. So similarly with the motherboard, I don't like the MSI B558 Pro. I know why you're getting this board. It's got a front panel USB Type-C header, and I see down here you got your Lee & LAN-Cool, but we're getting rid of this case too, I'm afraid, because we need to slash a lot of budget in order to get you playing and streaming games on Twitch. So let's do that. Let's jump in with a motherboard. I know exactly what we're going to pull in. So we're going to go with the absolute best price to performance B550 motherboard. In my estimation, does not have BIOS flashback now, so I don't necessarily recommend it for Ryzen 5000 builds. I just haven't seen that it's coming Ryzen 5000 ready. As soon as it does come Ryzen 5000 ready, I'll recommend it all day. I just haven't seen that yet, and that's this right here. That's what we're going to add in. It's got a great audio codec, much better than the MSI board. Got really good USB connectivity. It's also a micro USB motherboard. Excuse me, it's a micro ATX motherboard, which is going to allow us to have a much larger case selection. We may not need the case selection, but it's going to give us that because we need flexibility on price. Similarly, Samsung Evo Plus One. This is a total overkill. This is a high-end production drive. You do not need this for what you're doing. You're not going to see a benefit in it. You're basically just taking an extra $50 and burning it here. So let's get that $50 back. We're going to go to an SSD, and we're going to want, I agree with you. I think you're definitely on the right path. You know you want a terabyte, and I completely agree with you in that regard that we want a terabyte. We just need to make sure that it's the right price to performance. So I see the Crucial P2, I'd pull that one out. A lot of these other drives are like, they're just kind of bulk storage. in a pinch, they would work, but for what we want to do, we want something with some DRAM or a good host memory buff. This Team Force Vulkan would work, but these are all SATA drives. Wouldn't mind, and right here, Silicon Power A60. That's one of my favorites. Although this Team Force T Cardera Zero, I'm seeing great things with this. So let's go ahead and take that for the same price, $100. So we're saving ourselves, you can see it right here, we're saving ourselves $50, and you will never see the performance difference doing what you're doing between the two. So let's ditch that. There, we just pulled $50 out of the fire. That feels good, doesn't it? $50 right out of the fire, back in our pocket. Yeah, the power supply, $120. If we look at this build, we're pushing what, 320 watts. Now, we don't have the memory in here. It's not going to add that much wattage, but let's go ahead and fix that. I think you want 32 gigs of memory. However, I don't think we have the budget to get 32 gigs, unfortunately. We're going to go 3200 CL16, and we're going to see what we can get. We're going to go we'll start with 2x8. Yeah, that's what I thought. The memory market's changed a lot. 6 months ago, you could get a kit like this for $45, but now it's almost double what it was. Well, not quite double, but it's close. So let's just go ahead and add it from filter. We're just going to add the cheapest memory in, and this will continue to update every time. And we're going to get rid of the memory that you had in there that wasn't pulling up a price. We're down to $1,700, so we're getting within striking distance. We still need to find another $214, which is going to be tough. And my two targets left. We've got the power supply and we've got the case. So we are going to go absolutely. We're going to go the cheapest, nice looking thing that we can. With fans, I'm going to guarantee you that's going to be $50 for a Zalman case. Right. I like the Cougar mesh. It just doesn't come with any fans. I like a lot of these cases. They just don't have any fans with them, and we'd have to buy fans. By the time you add the fans to the case, it just doesn't make any sense. That picture is so misleading. Every time I see this, I go, oh, look at that case. It's great. Oh, yeah, but it doesn't come with any fans. I think it comes with one in the back. Let's just go ahead and with Zalman S2. This is a good one. Or Zalman S3 looks a little slicker, same price. Both of them come with 3 included fans. So that's going to take care of us there. We just saved about 30 or 40 bucks there. And then the power supply, of course, we don't need this much power. We've got 319 watts. If we multiply that by 1.5, what do we get? 450, about 500 watts. So that's all we really need. We do not need a 750 watt power supply. That is insanity. Not insanity. I mean, look, is it going to hurt anything? No, but it's going to hurt your wallet, right? So, and if you don't remember, I have a best power supply buying video, and I go through how to size it. I go through the build quality, what to look for. We won't go over all that every single time, but let's go punch in 500. We're going to end up with something probably off the C tier of the Linus Tech, which is going to be the EVGA, either the BA. Wow, these units are so cheap right now. These are new units, right? That's a 500 watt power supply. Well, for $5 more, well, let's get the modular one. There we go. Now we're down to $1,596. Now we're in striking distance, and I know I have a strong guess here that we don't actually need $1,000. Let's just go to eBay real quick. Let's go to eBay, and this is what I was able to pull up in terms of the 3060 cards. It looks like for about $900, you can in fact get the same card you're looking at. There's better cards for $900, but you can get one for about $900. So if you look at the build and where we're at right now, we're at $1,596. If you subtract another $100, there you go. Now you've got your build. You can buy it today. You can get all the parts today, and you could walk away. Could you add a CPU cooler? Yes, you're streaming. If you can find another $20, I would recommend, of course, getting some kind of aftermarket air cooler, because it's just going to bring the noise level down. That little Ray Stealth cooler can be noisy, and you don't want that when you're trying to stream. So we're just going to go with something nice and cheap. We're going to go Deepcool Gamix 400 V2. There's certainly other ones if you don't want the red light. So it would be $1,520. This would be your build. This will get you streaming. This will get you gaming. This will do everything you want to do. It won't look quite as nice as what you're looking for, but overall, it's going to do the job. All right, let's do one I didn't get to last time. It's Diego Sanchez Tirado. He wants to use his PC 60% for 4 and 8K video editing, as well as school, and then 40% for gaming. And that a lot of people do that. There's a lot of crossover between gaming and editing. However, once you start getting into 4 and 8K video editing, and you're adding in a lot of effects in there, then you're starting to leave the realm of gaming pretty quickly, and you need more core count, you need a better GPU, you need more memory. What else do we got here? He likes the all black aesthetic. Yeah, a lot of people do. And he likes the minimalist part of it. $2,000 is a lot for him, but that's his price point. So obviously it's also kind of his pain point. Let's see what we got here. Okay, 5800X. Well, what's the total price here? You're already at $1,125. To get a 3060, which is the graphics card I think we're going to target, you're going to need about $900 US. So we're already a little bit over your budget with this build as is, and I see some problems like right off the bat with this. Look, this even the memory 3000 CL15. I'd prefer if we got 3200 CL16, but I don't really have any testing data between the two sets to tell you that one's better than the other. I just, in all the testing I've seen, 3200 CL16 is kind of the floor. Although I acknowledge cast latency may make a difference, but that's kind of a small thing. It's the hard drive, this SSD drive. I hate it. Why do I hate it? Not because you've picked a bad drive. You've actually picked a good drive. I like this drive. I hate the size of it. I think that you're underestimating the amount of storage that you're going to need on your scratch drive for DaVinci Resolve, for Adobe Premiere, for some of your files that you're working on. Anything that you want to work on the PC, you'd prefer to be on SSD and then dump it onto the hard drive whenever it's finished, or have some of the raw files in there. And we need to save some money on this. So this is going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy. But I see a couple of points where I think we can sharpen the pencil on this. This might be a little bit more painful than the other one. But let's get you a drive that's going to be more in keeping with where you need to be. So let's look for an SSD that's 900. What do we have? We've got that we're going to use for our boot drive. That's a SATA drive. Crucial P2 wouldn't be a bad choice, but I'm going to go back to the Team Cardera. I got to tell you, this is my favorite drive right now. I really like it. It's got great benchmarking. So let's go ahead and add it in. And for only $25 more than you were going to spend, we're getting double the capacity and a drive that is going to have performance that you are never going to be able to see the difference. You probably can't even measure the difference. It's going to be in milliseconds, if anything. So, okay, so we did that. Now we actually just added budget, right? We went in the wrong direction. I'll tell you right now, you'll probably be able to save at least $10 by getting you have 4 by 8 gigabytes. I bet you anything will be able to save money by going 2 by 16. I know you want all black, but you can't, what's this song? You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes you get what you need. So we'll try and keep to that black aesthetic if we can. Let's see what we got here. Is that black? No, that's PCB. Oof, yucks. Silicon power. Well, we got some kits here that are black and red. We got dark silver. We're going to go with the Team Force. This is pretty close. This is like a gunmetal, a really dark gunmetal. It's going to, I think, go really well with the Pro-P. Has some gunmetal kind of accents to it. It's going to save you $10 on the memory, which is going to be important because this is going to be a squeaker. This is definitely going to be a little bit of a squeaker. In terms of the CPU, I think what we're going to have to do is we got to come down. I know I really like the 5800X. I know the prices came down $30 and makes it a little bit more attractive, but I just don't think if we're going to stick to this budget, we're going to be there. Now, if you can find some extra money, go for it. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to take the 3700X, we're going to add that in, and we're going to dump the cooler as well. The reason is, why is the 3700X so much of a better deal? It's because it's still 8 cores, 16 threads. Yes, the cores are not as fast. 5600X is still in that same range, but it comes with the Wraith Prism cooler, and that's a phenomenal value cooler. I don't want to call it phenomenal performance. It's all you're going to need for the 3700X to do these kind of workloads. And at some point in the future, if it's not enough and you want to get something beefier, you like the Noctua that you had in there, you absolutely could. But for right now, we need money. So we've just saved a whole bucket load of money. Now, we've reduced the performance of the machine. I'm not going to pretend that we didn't do that. Yes, we did. But we have to in order to get in. Now we've got almost 11. We have $1,050, which is I think what you're going to need for to get that graphics card, probably anywhere between $900 and $1,000 to get an RTX 3060. Let's add one in, by the way. Thought they were back in stock for a second. They're clearly not. I'm just gonna pick the Zotac one just for the power, just to see what the power usage is going to be. If you don't like, buy whatever you want off eBay when the time comes. But I'm just adding this in so we can get the power calculation. So this is going to be less than 600 watts. Probably don't need this power supply either. This is a little, we did just probably reduce the power a little bit when we switched some things out. So I don't mind saving a little bit of money here and going with something on a lower tier. Let's go Cooler Master Watt. This is a good power supply. It's considerably cheaper than the one you had. I think it's 650 watts too, right? Yeah. So it's only 100 watts less, and we saved $40. There we go. And this is a modular power supply. It's a semi-modular. Yours was fully modular. You don't need fully modular. You're going to need the 24 pin, and you're going to need the 4+4 pin. You're going to need some of these cables that you're not going to get rid of. So really, in my mind, there's no difference between fully modular and semi-modular. You're going to use those cables anyway. Okay, now we're $1,900, right, with the graphics card in here. We've actually saved $100. And honestly, you know what we can do now? Check this out. So this drive here, I'm just going to add another one in. Now you can run this in RAID configuration if you want. You could just use it as a separate drive, whatever you want. And I'm going to, and we're at $2,000. And I'll keep the hard drive in there for you too. Here you go, 3700X. This is going to be a really good gaming and video editing PC for you. He's holding on to the all black aesthetic. And in the future, you can add components to this that will increase the performance. You could drop in a 5800X a couple years from now, or a 5900X a couple years, or a 5950X a couple years from now, and get a lot more performance out of this platform. You could drop in a better CPU cooler down the road to get some better performance out of it. You could go to 64 gigabytes of memory because we're not going to fill all the DIMM slots. You could get another kit of 2x16. So this is going to give you the portability. As your portfolio of work grows, you're going to be able to grow with it. All right, let's just do some of these on speed real quick. Yusuf, what do you got for me? You want mostly for gaming, GTA, Warzone, Cyberpunk. Budget $1,250. That's going to be hard in this market. We'll see what we can do for you. Let's see. He says he's going to wait to get the GPU. Let's just pretend you're not going to wait, because I don't know if GPU prices are going down anytime soon. Ethereum, supposedly crashed, and it's spiking right back up again. Let's see what we got. Okay, we're going Intel here. i7-10700. You've got a big beefy water cooler. I like this. I like the iQ H115i. Good cooler. Expensive. And you got an H570 motherboard. That's fine if you need it. Do you need all the extra connectivity? If not, B560 is good. And no, we're going to go for 11400 here. The F is going for $175. That's what we're going to add in. Boom, there we go. We have not really reduced CPU cooler. No, let's just get something cheaper. We can do liquid cooling. That's fine. Let's do a 240 millimeter liquid cooler. And let's do one of the ones I just listed on my best Ryzen coolers, but is a fine Intel cooler as well. Let's go with the Cooler Master Liquid 240. The version 2 for $77. This will be a great cooler, and it's going to save you $40. There you go. I think your motherboard choice is probably fine. We don't have to edit everything here. It looks like you didn't even have a drive, so let's fix the drive too. Okay, 970 EVO. Oh my goodness, no, gaming only. No. We're just gonna keep going with this. This drive is just unbeatable right now. If you're looking for a good drive, honestly, the Team Force Cardera, whatever it's called, we'll pull it up here in a second. I just don't know how you beat that for $100. There it is right there. Team T-Force Cardera 0Z330. Let's add that in for $100. Let's get rid of the 970 EVO, which wasn't pulling up a price. Corsair iQ 4000. Fantastic case. Total overkill. Our budget is so small. We're going to go with the Zalman S2, okay? Why the Zalman S2? Yes, it's got an acrylic side panel, but it comes with 4 included fans, 3 in the front, 1 in the rear. My goodness. I mean, that's airflow for you. Let's do that. Now, on the power supply, 650 watts is fine. I don't have a problem with this unit. Probably could get something $10 cheaper, but let's not split hairs too much. I do think though that we could probably fix the RAM too. Let's just fix the RAM. I know we like white RGB RAM. I know it looks pretty, but my goodness, let's right size this. B560, remember, is unlocked for the memory speed, so that's good for us. So let's select the kit we want. We're just going to go 2 by 8 gigabytes, and we're just going to put in whatever we can get. Silicon Power A6. There we go. We'll get rid of that one. We've just saved ourselves. Now we've got $500 for a graphics card. That's going to get us right now a GTX 1650 Super. Definitely not a 3060. That's on the secondary market. So we need to come down even a little bit more. Let's chop away. Chop, 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 chop. You know, let's take out the axe and start cutting here. We're going to go with the Deep Cool GAMX 500 or 400, excuse me. We're going to get rid of the liquid cooler. Where are we at now? We're at $645. Can we, you know, now we have $550 for a graphics card. I don't know. At this point, we're cutting into bone. You know, we're going to have to look in the motherboard, B560. I'll be honest, I don't like the Intel platform right now because if you're following Hardware Unboxed, a number of these boards just have problems. They just have problems. They got problems with the power limits. The B560 Pro, this one is probably going to be our best bet. The HDV is the one that is a pain in the rear. The Prime was also okay. Let's go. We're going cheap here. God, I really want a VRM heatsink though. Give me a break. These boards are so cut down. Let's go with the Bazooka for $142. Oh, we just went up in price, didn't we? Let's go back. Don't want to go up in price. We want to go down in price. We're going to go with the B560M Pro. It hurts. Yeah, I know it hurts. But we're doing it. We're doing it here. We've almost got $600 for your graphics card. That should be able, you're going to have to hunt one down at MSRP, but there you go. We've downsized the processor to something that's going to work better. You know, you could even look at getting a 4-core 8-thread processor here, but we're not going to cut that deeply. CPU cooler, we cut down to something more reasonable. Motherboard, I don't like this board, but it'll give you the performance you're looking for. That's all we need. I would really prefer a VRM heatsink. The memory we went with is much cheaper. The storage is going to work for us. We want 1 terabyte. We could cut that down to 512 gigs, I guess, if we had to. And you should be able to get a graphics card for the money we expect as long as you pull in at MSRP. What would you do differently? Tell me down in the comments. And if you want to be considered, remember, keep an eye out for the post. It will be coming. I'll need a PC part picker list. I'll need your budget. And I'll need, of course, your use case. What are you using the PC for? Just like you saw here. We have merch. It really does support the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. We just hit 30,000 subscribers. So remember, give the video a like. Join us by subscribing and clicking the bell icon. And I'll catch you on the next one.